everyone, I wanted to show y'all some progress on this bug here, this crawler. So last time y'all seen it, I do believe, was the video where I showed you how I back halved it with the cage and everything. I got some Endura tires and wheels, just stamped steel bead locks, which I really like the look of, especially with this bug body. But another thing I've done with it since then is changed the rear suspension. So we bought parts for the Summit over there. And what I had left over was some rockers and some of the rods that go to it. And we just took the rockers, put them on the top of the shock tower in the middle hole, and ran the shocks back here. It's just basically made out of leftover parts. I trimmed the front bumper to match with the bug body.
I didn't even notice that.
Yep. Alright.
Got the little loops there.
And as you can see, I put a light bar on the top. But one of the most impressive things is the way this rear suspension works now with the cantilever setup. So this is about, you know, as much travel as there is in the front. Right? Standard, probably be about like that. However, now with these cantilever style suspension, or whatever it's called, we get a crap ton of flex out of the rear end.
Which you kind of want, honestly.
Well, for a trail truck, it's more travel than you'll ever need.
Well, yeah.
However, the problem with this is, can you hold this up for me like that? If you pull too hard, well, if you pull too hard, you can, there we go. You can do like that, and then you've got a problem where it's not going to go back in. So, alright, there we go. Now we got it fixed. So as you can tell, we need something to keep that from happening.
There you go.
So I just picked up some 80mm limiting straps from Hot Racing. And we're going to tie these down here.
Sorry. I want to make sure we get this back on.
Good?
I think so. Just kind of sits on there.
Yep.
Perfect.
So we're going to tie this to the axle right down there. And then the other part we're going to put probably either here on the frame rail.
I think there would work perfectly because you still get that travel.
Up here, depending on how it all works. So I got to go find some nuts and bolts. And
you know what? I don't know if you
we'll
are
just
thinking
kind of
it.
fit that there.
We do it like
tie them to the top of the axle.
right there and then around. I mean,
Well, normally you want it in line.
well,
I'll
yeah.
just put it down
So
there.
where are you planting it?
Right here on this little nut.
Right there?
Yeah, I just got to back that nut off. Alright, now that we got the wheel off, we can see a lot better here how all of this works. Yeah, that should fit. So we're going to take off this nut down here. And then
you can keep recording.
there's an existing hole right here that I think we're going to nut and bolt the top of the limiting strap to. Alright, so we got it bolted to the axle here. Just use the existing mounts. So now I'm going to take it, and since I've moved my shock tower back a little, I think back, yeah, we have existing holes here, and we're just going to bolt it into that hole there. Just like that. And I got some little small nuts there. I'm going to take with a pair of needle nose. Oh, and screw them into place. And then we'll have our limiting straps.
One of the two limiting straps.
Yeah, one of them. You see where I'm holding it and everything?
Yeah.
Now these frame rails are kind of a C shape, so my needle nose pliers aren't going to let me tighten it all the way. This nut's going to fit inside of this frame rail. Well, hold on, it might go all the way in. I don't think so though. Oops. So come out over on this side. Grab it. Yeah, there we go.
That's working. Going in.
Now this doesn't have to be super tight, as long as the nuts through the bolt. You want these to be able to kind of flex a little bit, just so that you don't have them under too much of a bind. You just don't want a lot of play in them. But yeah. There we go. Got a hard stop with the limiting straps, so now I don't have to worry about pulling the shocks past the little rocker assembly. And now we just do that same thing on this side. Once I get that done, I'll bring y'all back, show the flex on it. Alright, so we got the limiting straps on the back here. You can see them. Got all of my travel. Limited the suspension travel a little bit, but
it's still pretty good.
Oh yeah, at the end of the day, it's still way more than what this truck needs. Like, would it is are all of the geometries and stuff correct? Probably not, but I like it just for the cool factor. You can actually tell once it lifts up enough, it pulls the front axle forwards because the geometry on everything.
Pull the front axle forwards?
Did I say front axle?
Yes, you did.
Oh, I meant the rear axle. My bad. It's just the way all the linkages and stuff work. As it comes down, it has to move forward. So when it's only on one side, it only moves one side forwards. But yeah, the little limiting straps work good. I like that. I think it would be cooler if I had longer ones and would have mounted them up here, but there's really just kind of no room. Everything's in the way, so had to go with the frame mount, but not a big deal. Looks cool from the back. You can see them kind of squeeze out, squeeze out, bend out, whatever you want to call it. And now if this thing goes rolling down a hill, I don't have to worry about it pulling the shocks apart or anything like that on the rear end. I may eventually do the same thing to the front, but as you can tell, the
I mean, I don't think the front really needs it, unless you're thinking of doing the same suspension system.
Well, no, if you roll down a hill, the shocks are the only thing that stop this from extending. So if you roll down a hill and hit something hard, you could tear a shock apart, which is why the limiting straps are there, so that they take that hit instead of the shocks.
Well, yeah, you got a point there.
And the rear ride height's a little higher than the front as well, so I may, I don't know, I may took like what I did here with these longer shock rods, the rod ends, and put them up front just to get a little extra travel on that, so it sits a little more level. But yeah, there we go. Limiting straps are installed on the rear. Maybe I'll do them up front at some point. Thanks for watching. See y'all later.